President Biden headed to Wisconsin today, where he's expected to announce new plans to cancel student debt for tens of millions of Americans. Madeline Rivera has more. Maddie?
Hey, good morning, Todd. The Biden administration says their new plan would provide debt relief for more than 30 million Americans when combined with actions they've already taken to cancel student debt. Under this new initiative, people who now owe more than they initially borrowed could see up to $20,000 in interest wiped out. The administration believes about 25 million Americans fall under this category. About 2 million borrowers who are eligible for loan forgiveness programs but have not applied could see their balances automatically forgiven. Take a listen to what administration officials have to say.
If these plans are finalized as proposed, altogether this administration will begin to cancel up to $20,000 in interest for millions of borrowers and full loan forgiveness for millions more this fall.
President Biden will use every tool available to cancel student loan debt for as many borrowers as possible, no matter how many times Republican elected officials tried to stand in his way.
The White House says it's canceled $146 billion in student debt relief for 4 million Americans, even though the Supreme Court struck down the president's sweeping forgiveness plan last year. They believe, though, this proposal will stand up to legal challenges because it targets specific categories of borrowers through the Higher Education Act. Per local reports, President Biden is also expected to head to a Chicago fundraiser, which is expected to raise $2.5 million. Todd.
Madeline Rivera live for us this morning. Maddie, thank you. With that, let us bring in Daniel Gugala, who lives in Wisconsin, and Cata Truss, who is a Chicago resident. Thanks to the both of you for being here. Daniel, I'll begin with you. Look, the president's seen the polls. I'm sure it shows him not doing very well in the swing states that he needs to win in order to become a president for a second term. So he's headed to Madison. It's a college town. He's going to try to tell the young people who he's bleeding votes with as well that, hey, I'm going to pay off your college loans. As a taxpayer, how excited are you to pay off somebody else's college loans?
Yeah, not very excited. Thanks, Todd, for having me. With somebody who has a high school student, he'll be graduating this spring and heading to college next fall. I'd like to see what the president is doing to ensure that students going forward are getting a good deal when it comes to student loans, rather than taking taxpayer dollars now and giving out another government handout. If there's an issue with the system, then let's find ways to fix it so that we can, ensure that our future generation is getting the type of education that they need to enter the workforce with a solid set of skills. But more government handout isn't going to help. And certainly it isn't going to help our inflation issue.
And there's also the sense that, hey, I'm the president. I can ignore what the Supreme Court says. That's a topic for a different day. Cata, here's what some black Chicago voters are saying about Joe Biden and how he matches up with Donald Trump. This was just a couple of months ago. Listen.
Who do you think is better for the country, Trump or Biden?
Trump.
Trump.
I say Trump.
Why do you say that?
He's a businessman. He's going to think business. And Biden is a racist.
No wars, great policies, best years in the stock market. Who do you think has done more for the black community, Trump or Biden?
I ain't even see Biden yet. I know Trump was out here.
Biden, that's everything.
Biden ain't doing we gonna get rid of his sleep.
Well, I don't get the sense that those Chicago voters will be excited that Joe Biden's visiting their great city today. Do you agree with those sentiments you just heard, Cata?
I do agree with those sentiments. And, we're not really excited about Biden coming to Chicago. We know that he is coming here for a fundraiser, but I know that it is on the top of my mayor's agenda to ask the Biden administration to allow there to be a release of work visas for the migrants. I also know that he is looking for more funding from the federal government to help support and house migrants, even though he was recently heard saying that there is enough here in Chicago to support them.
Interesting. I think that you would probably disagree with a lot of that. So instead of coming to your city to raise money for himself, what would you rather see President Biden do with regard to your money, your financial situation, the issues that matter to you?
I would rather see him come here to talk about the state of the economy, the fact that everything is higher Groceries is higher, gas is higher, the interest rates are higher. I need Biden to talk about those things that affect everyday Americans. That's what we want to hear him talk about. The fact that the unemployment rate among blacks here in the city of Chicago is at its highest. Those are things that we want to hear discussed here in Chicago.
Yeah, and then have him take action on them, not just talk about them. Finally to you, Daniel, this Wall Street Journal poll showing President Biden and former President Trump tied in Wisconsin at 46%. No matter the poll, Wisconsin is basically a toss-up between Biden and Trump. So what's the main issue in your state that you think is going to tip the balance between one of those two candidates?
I think it's got to be inflation, and how is President Biden and or former President Trump going to address the inflation issues that are really hitting a lot of families here very hard, especially small businesses. Recently, my wife actually had to close a fitness studio that she owned after 6 years because of rent prices going up so high and because her clients just didn't have the disposable income necessary in order to, continue their health and fitness journey. And we really have to find ways to address this. And, we're looking to the candidates to present their plan. I think that's going to be a big swing opportunity in this state.
Understood. Just because inflation, quote unquote, is coming down by some economic metrics, you're not feeling it at the grocery store. And so people like your wife and her business were impacted. Daniel and Cata, got to leave it there. Thank you for your time this morning. Have a great week.
I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.